Waalaikumsalam, sir. Good morning.
Sir, good morning. Before I forget, please remind me before the end of the class to give you the link for the attendance. Okay, so before we proceed, I would like to brief on the mini project first. So everyone got a group already? Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So supposedly, mini project submission is on. Okay, let me check. Is there any date from Kalam? Also forget already. The date for submission usually during the end of semester week 14 or 13, something like that. Okay, mini project final week. Okay, so this is 15 including midterm break supposedly week 14 okay, study week, the last week Okay, so the exact date I will confirm later on but it is in the final week. Okay, so what you should do, first you must form group of 4 4 student per group, and then please remember that this is very easy to score. I would like everyone to get 20% full, 20% lah. So this is 20% from your coursework marks. The one that already released is 22% something during the midterm break. I released 22, I think 22%. So this is another 20%, which is a lot. So please everyone do this properly. This is very easy to score. Just follow the guide and follow the rubrics. Okay, submit everything that is required in the rubrics, then you will get full marks. Full mark is 100. So from 100, it is 20% from your coursework mark. The source code of your mini project must cover all the elements mentioned in the rubric. Okay, this one we will look at later. Read the task carefully. Soft copy report and presentation slide must be submitted through Kalam. Okay, so once completed, you will have to present your works. This is similar like problem solving. So you need to. I don't think we have enough time to present it live, so you need to record your presentation and upload it in Kalam. Same goes to the group discussion. So group discussion must be performed weekly. So minimum one discussion per week, starting with this week. So this is week week 9, okay, of the study week lah. Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. So 5. Minimum is 5 video to be uploaded in YouTube. So upload date also will be checked. So some of you, most of you, I think during problem solving, you upload it in the same date. So it will not be count, okay? will become S1. Okay, so just to make sure that you discuss every week. So once you finish discuss, straight away upload it in YouTube. Okay, during the same week. So the task is each group need to propose a topic from real world problem based on this is Malaysia, Malaysia Ministry Department. There are currently 32 ministry department that can be accessed from this link. However, the department will be decided by me. I already decide the department to give to which group kan. So after this, you give your group member's name. I will assign you uh, the department. Okay. So each group will have specific department. Okay. For example, if your group gets Department of Finance, Ministry of Finance, Department of Finance. Therefore, your project must relate to the finance system lah. Okay, such as banking, anything related to finance. This one have to be you need to decide in group. So what system that you want to propose? This is up to you. As long it is within the scope of that particular department. So since the department will be given to me, so nobody will have the same topic within the same department, right? Okay. The proposal should consist of all the elements that has been covered in this course. Okay. Compulsory elements are control statement, function, array, and file processing. So we already cover up until function. Today we are going to cover the array topics. So this is for 4 weeks. And then file processing is SBL. This is you need to study by yourself. Okay. Okay, other elements such as arithmetic statement, equation, input-output operation. This is normally or you should this is a topic in problem solving but normally when you do program, these are included. Okay, so also need to be presented in your program. Okay. Okay, so all group need to submit report and presentation week 14 lah. Okay. Alright. So compulsory item. Okay, this is arithmetic operation, proper calculation, control statement, minimum 3 decision for 3 different variable, meaning that 3 sets of decision. Not 3 decision if, else, no 3 sets of decision. Let me put it. 3 sets of decision. Implement minimum 1 nested decision in one of the decision. So if we have 3, so at least one of it is nested nested decision. If inside of if something like that. And then modular programming, minimum 4 function, excluded main function, not include the main function, 4 function. So each member should do 1 function. So when you are presenting your work nanti, so each of you will present which function that they do. Implement minimum 1 pointer. Okay, where to put it? In the passing by reference. Passing parameter by reference. So you need to show your pointer where you use a pointer, not just simple pointer. You can use simple pointer, but the one that is counted is the one that you use when you are passing parameter by reference. Okay, file operation. Okay, basically file operation is where you read input from file and you print the output also in a specific file. For example, from the notepad, nanti ada lah ni when you are when you cover this topic, you will see what you need to do. This is very simple. Just read and write to a file. And then implementation of array. Okay, implement array. Okay, string array is not counted. String ni you already cover kan. Name ke address, that one is string kan. The array that is needed is something that we are going to discuss today. Okay, report preparation. Minimum 3 pages. And I will also provide, this is as a brief template. So you need to have case study, example of input, example of output, flowchart, codes, and the meeting link. Okay, so this is the requirement. So the rubrics. Okay, so you have flowchart, okay, overall structure ni lah, all these things. Okay, all these things. Okay, file operation, array, pointer, okay, output presentation. So this is CO2, okay, cost outcome. Okay, this is base cost outcome. Okay, this is how you do the research. The research of your given scope. So let's say if you are given to the Department of Defense, for example, so you need to have some study on it. Okay, put the objective of your project to produce what and what. Input, okay, output, and then you must have reference. Reference is something like link link where you refer, you get all your information from what page, web page, for example, from which book, from which journal, from which news, for example. So you may provide the link. And then additional features. Okay, additional function or features. Either one lah. For example, this is example. Example, you provide specific function for adding data, view data, delete data, update data. So you will get 10 marks. Or you have other features. Features that is not covered in class. Okay. Yeah, not covered in class. For example, using anything that is not covered in class. So you need to have 4 of it. Anything that is not covered in class, you may have 4. But you need to present in your report which is the additional function or features that you provide in your program. And then additional library. Okay, additional library implementation, additional library and its usage. Okay, for example, what function that I didn't mention in class the one that already mentioned apa, string.h string copy, string, for example, something like that but it is already covered the one that I'm not covered, function, specifically a function and its library. So you need to search for any library that is not covered in class. Okay, for example, this one stdio.h is a library. Don't forget, this is the very basic of programming. You need to have library. So you just import the library and some of the function from that particular library. To get this 5 marks. Also need to be shown in your report. So any question, class, about the mini project?
For the flowchart.
Okay, flowchart.
Need to do non-module or with module.
Of course, the module, because you have a function, right? That's why there's a function mark over here.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, any other question? No? Okay, so next step for the mini project is I will give you a link for you to write down all your group members' name. So one representative from each group only have to write all the group members' name. Not everyone write. One person write all the group members. Okay, that one is later after the class. Okay, so if no question, then we may proceed with our discussion for this week, which is array. This is uh, very easy topic. Every topic is easy, but very important, array. So the basic array that we already covered is array of string. That one is a very basic. Okay. Okay. So what is actually we are going to cover in this topic is the introduce array basic uh, of name, data type, and index. Initialize an array during compile time. Initialize is giving initial value. For example, the one that we already do, for example, when declaration int total, we put int total equal to 0. Int total equal to 10. We give it the total initial value. Okay, nilai awal. Okay, initial value. So same goes to array. We can put initial value for array. There are two ways to do it. First, during compile time. Another one is runtime. So compile time is basically during the coding. So specifically during the coding, we put int total equal to 0. That one is compile time. Okay, during runtime is when we are running the system, we put the value to the array. This is what we are going to look at how to do this. And then selecting elements from array. So one array can have more than one value stored in what we call as element. So one array can have multiple elements. And then working with two-dimensional array. Okay, so far we already cover in string. String is example of 1D array. 2D array is nanti capable to manipulate array operation. This one, let's say if you want to put the array for calculation, okay, we can do that. Okay, so what is array, class? Array is a list of more than one variable. Actually, we say it one variable because it have the same name. As I mentioned earlier, so it can have multiple elements, but all the elements will have the same name. Okay, the same name and the same data type. Okay, array is a fixed size collection of consecutive memory location. Each memory location accessed by a relative address called index. All index start with 0. I know if I just read from here, you will, maybe some of you will not get it. So let's look at example. Okay, example, if we have one array name H, and then the type is integer. So how do we put this in our program? same like this, okay? For example, we want to use variable age, okay? And then if this is what we do, meaning that it is normal variable, okay? This variable can store how many value, class? At one time. How many value this variable can store?
One.
One value. One value only. Okay. But if you want to use the same variable name, okay, and we want to store 10 value. So this is how we do it. Okay, so now same variable name, but it can store up to 10 value at one time. At one time, it can store up to 10 value. Okay, maximum 10 value at the same time. Okay. So all this value will be stored in a different location, in the different memory location. Meaning that if we declare our array have 10 size, this is size, then we are reserving 10 different memory address for variable age. So each of the address is unique, so it has different address, memory address. Okay, like this. So if you want to represent this in a figure, so you will see something like this. So this is 5, meaning that we allocate 5 memory address. So each memory will be allocated with specific elements, starting with index 0. So this is index. Okay, index. Each memory location accessed by a relative address called index. Okay, so index is representing the memory address. So this is element 1 starting with index 0. Okay, so the last index is going to be size size tolak 1 lah. Okay. Okay, it's going to be 4. If the size is 5, then the last index should be 4. Okay, so then this is representing what inside the value that we can store up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 number because this is integer, kan? Okay, class, do you understand this? Understand this concept first, Why? Later on we will see why we need array, kan? But please understand the concept first. Okay? Easy, right? Okay, same goes to string, So this is string, For example, char name, and then we put 10, kan? Meaning that we can store 10 character. Okay, so each of the box will store, each of the memory can store 1 character. Okay, starting with index 0, maximum is 4 lah. So that we get 5 elements. Okay, 5 elements. Okay. Boleh? Any question? No question? Okay, so how to declare array? Simple, kan? So it is similar as how we declare normal variable. Okay, the difference is only on the size. Okay, so how do you determine how to put this size? It is basically based on how many numbers, how many value that you want to put in that particular array. It doesn't have a specific rules. It is up to your system. If you want your system to store up to 10 numbers, so you declare the size is 10. So this is the size, array size. Okay, array size. So meaning that your elements maximum is num what? The elements maximum is num
9.
num 0 until num 9. Okay. So same goes to this one. Okay, same and float. So what is this, class? This is slightly different. This is array 2D. Okay, array 2D. This is slightly different. If you want to store two name for array, for string, for string, if you want to store two name, this is how we do it. Two meaning that two names. So each name length is 10 character. Okay. If you want to store up to 5 name, we just change it over here. Okay. So this is two name. Okay, one name like this here, okay? No need to use 2D. So this is one name. Okay. Okay. So this is how we visualization of each of these array that we declare. Okay, so then num 10. So this is how it looks like in the memory. Okay, 0 until 9. So 0 until 4. Semana? Okay, this is 5 float number. And this is if we declare a string 2D string, array 2D. Okay, for two name. Okay. Okay, so exercise, simple exercise, before we proceed. Declare an array name y that can store up to 20 integer number. Cuba buat. Can you do this, guys? Array name y that can store up to 20 integer number. Okay, open up your code block and do this three. Okay, somebody will have to show it for me. Lucky for you if you get to show this. This is the basic. Before we proceed with the advanced. Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay, do all three declaration. Dah ke? Finish? Muhammad Zarif. Muhammad Zarif. Muhammad Zarif. Muhammad Zarif bin apa ni? Tak nampak lah. Hilang pula dia. Ini on dia terus tidur balik ke apa ni? Tak ada Zarif Muhammad Zaim.
Sir, saya buka kat phone sir. Laptop saya ada problem sikit.
Kat phone. Macam nak buat coding kat phone so kena betulkan tempat tu.
Okay,
Boleh
sir,
next class
InsyaAllah.
Abdul Rahman.
Yes, sir. Me or Harithi?
Okay, can you? Yeah, sorry. Can you share your screen?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, okay. Okay, declare array Y. Okay, correct. And then price float. Okay. Declare array name letter that can store up to 36 character. That one wrong. Remove the 10. Okay, like this only. Okay. Alright, good. Okay, thank you, Rahman.
Right, sir.
Okay, so next, initialization of array. Array is very easy, class. Compared to function, function is much more complicated. Array is very easy. Alright. Initialization of array. So there are two ways: compile time and run time. Okay, as I said earlier, compile time is when we are doing the coding. We put exactly the initial value. Okay, something like this. Okay, for example, if we declare integer number and the size is 5, and we want to put initial value. Initial value can be changed later on in class. It is not fixed to this value until the end of the program. This is just initial value. It can be changed. Okay, the one that we cannot change if this is a constant. Okay, other than that, it can be okay, just initial value. Okay, so if you want to put initial value, you must start with a curly bracket. Okay, and put the value separated by comma. Okay, 12,7,1 million, for example. That's it. Close the curly bracket. So now we have initial value for number. Okay. And for character of string, this is string lah. Character array of character, meaning that it is a string. Same like this one lah. Okay, letter 26 for example. We want to put 26 initial character for letter. So this is how we do it. This is only 6 Okay, so character must be separated, you must include this symbol, this symbol, okay, comma, this symbol, comma, okay. If you don't put this, you will get error. Okay, for character. If you notice, for character, anywhere in your program, in the decision, okay, for example, if a vowel equal to A, so we must put this symbol, okay, and then if we want to put initial value for string, more than one string, okay, 2 name, for example, so each name have 10 maximum character. So this is how you do it, using string copy. Okay, string copy name 0, meaning that the first name. Maximum is 2 2 name. Meaning that we must start the index with 0. Okay, the maximum index is 1 lah. Okay, so index 0 is for name, the first name. Okay, and then comma, put the name. Okay, and then the second name, comma, put the name. So this is how we put initial value for a string. Okay. Okay, any question? Very easy, Okay, so this is how this initialization is representing in the memory. Okay, for example, for number, okay, so index 0 will be stored with value 5. Okay, the one come first. Okay, 5 will be stored in index 0. Okay, element 1. The first element is index 0. Okay, which is number 0. Okay, number 0, 5. Okay, so the second number is 3. Will be stored in number 1. Okay, 3. And so on. Right? So same goes to the array of character. Okay, A, E, I, O, U, V. So what we put first will be stored in the first element, which is vowel 0. So this is vowel 1. This is vowel 2, and so on. Okay, vowel 0, A, vowel 1, vowel 2, and so on. Okay, and for the more than one string, okay. Okay, so name 0 for the first name. Name 0 for the first name. And then for the full name, we reserve 10 size. This is 10 size. Okay, don't get confused. This is the 10 size for each of the name. Each of the name will have 10 size. Okay, 10 size meaning that you can store up to 10 character for each of the name. Okay. Okay, understand? Up until this point, boleh so this is compile time. Okay, compile time initialization. Okay, this is for single name. Okay, single name you can straight away put the value. No need to use string copy. So this is if you have more than one name. So we have string copy. Easier, okay? There are another way to do this, but this is the easiest way, okay, using string copy. This is if the value is only 1. Okay, so let's do a very easy exercise over here. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, put it in your code block. initial number. Okay, finish? Okay, so if you notice, this actually similar with this, So both is correct. Did you notice this, class? For example, if it is a string, 1D string, you can do it like this, or you can do it like this. So both is correct. Okay, both is correct. Okay, so let us look at the answer. Muhammad Muklis. Muhammad Muklis. Hello, Muklis. Muklis. Ni saya panggil tak jawab, kira absent Wan Muhammad Iqbal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, boleh share screen.
Boleh. Nampak, sir?
Zoom sikit. Okay. Okay, so the first one, float price. Okay, float. Okay, correct. So student ID, the initial value.
Buat yang equal tu.
Ha. Tentulah kan. Tapi student ID awak apa benda?
Oh, tak.
So character kan. Each of the character must be
Number.
within the tu apa tu quote tu. Atas dia ada ni macam single quote.
Oh,
Ha.
okay.
Ha. Okay. Or you can straight away equal to double quote AEIOU and then close. Okay, both is correct. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that one is declaration and put initial value during compile time. Okay, then we are going to look at declaration and initialization during runtime. During runtime is when we run the program, then the array gets the value. Before we run the program, the array doesn't have any value. So how do we do that? By applying looping. So array, most of the time when we apply array, they must have looping, specifically for loop. Okay, most of the time we are going to use for loop along with array. Most of the time. So if there's array, they must have also for loop. Okay, so the example. Okay, let's say we have array num3. Okay, meaning that this array can store up to 3 numbers. Okay, can store up to 3 numbers. And then, as I said, when we want to put when there's an array, okay, and most of the time there will be for loop. And so why do we need this for loops? We are going to look at this further when we do the calculation. So but for now we can use this if you want to put initial value to our array during runtime. Just want to put a value, no calculation involved. So let's say we want to put a value for num. Okay, during runtime you can do it like this. So put array, put a for looping starting with I equal to 0. Okay, this is representing the index of the first elements. Okay, the index start with 0 kan? 0, 1, maximum is what? What index? The maximum index for num, array num class. Huh? 2, okay? So the maximum index is 2. Okay, so start with 0, 1 and 2. So how we want to access this index? Okay, during runtime. So we can use looping. Okay, use looping. Okay, for example, we put a value similar with the value of the counter. In this case, the counter is I. So I equal to 0. Meaning that index 0, value of the counter is also 0. Same, eh? So when index change to 1, when counter change to 1, okay, index value will follow. Okay, it will also become 1. Okay, so that's why over here we put I less than 3. Okay, I less than 3. 3 is the not including 3. The index is going, the maximum is going to be 2 lah. Not including 3 kan. That's why less than 3. And then I plus plus. This is to update the index and the counter. So every time we the loops goes, so the counter equal to 0, then num will become 0, right? This is within the body of the loop. So num will become 0. Okay. Num 0 ya. Ni num 0. And then equal to I, which is 0. So now we have num 0 equal to 0. Okay, next. Okay, num 0 equal to 0. Okay, next we update the counter and I plus plus. So now I become 1. So automatically num will become num 1. Okay, equal to 1. So it will store in the num1 memory. Okay, and then update the counter to 2. Okay, I plus plus. Okay, so this is an example how you do the runtime initialization. Okay, class, you're confused. Okay, never mind. We are going to look at the example of 4 later on. More example after this. Okay, input and output for array. Okay, for this, I need you to open up your code block and type this, class. Starting over here. And here. Okay, can you do that? Open up your code block and do this. Okay. Boleh? So basically it is the same as scanf for normal variable, right? But the difference is over here only. Okay, we specifically put the index that we want to store, the number. So let's say we want to store the number in index 1. So we change this to 1. We want to store the index in index 2. We change this to 2. And so on. Okay. So same goes to print. If you want to print index 0, so we must be specifically put 0. If you want to print index 9, so put index 9. So it will print the name, the value that is stored in memory of index 9. Okay. So that's the difference between a normal variable and array. So you must be specifically put the index, okay, to refer to which specific elements that you want to print. Okay, so I'm going to show you why we need to use array. Why we need to use array first. Okay. So let's have a look at this example. Can you see my code block class?
Can.
So this is without array and without looping kan. So this is as a normal sequential logic structure without decision, without looping. This is the case that we want to do addition for 3 numbers. Okay, so we scan F the numbers one by one, num1, num2 and num3, and notice that we use different variable name for all the numbers. So imagine if we have 1000 numbers, so we must have 1000 variable. Okay, num1, num2, num3 until num 1000. Okay, same goes to the calculation. Okay, we must use a very long equation. Sum equal to num1, num2, num3, okay, plus num4 plus num 1000. Okay, same goes to the print. Okay, if you want to print all the input value before we print the sum. Okay, percent D, for example kan, up until 1000. Okay, understand? So what's the problem with this class? The problem is there will be a very long program, okay, to solve this problem lah. If the number increase, then the code is going to be increased as well. Okay, so we try to, before this, when we learn about looping, we try to simplify this by applying looping. Okay, so and then we managed to reduce, okay, the line of number in our coding. Okay, so this might not seems much improvement since we only put 3 numbers kan. So assuming that, let's say we have 1000 numbers. Okay, so the reduction is very much kan. And then when we apply looping, so what we need to do is, we cannot use num1, num2, num3 kan. Class, can we use num1, num2, num3 if you want to apply looping? So what happen if you use num1, num2, num3? Can we scan F num over here? Boleh ke? Can we do that?
Boleh.
Cannot, right? So it must be named in general, so that we can apply looping. Otherwise, you cannot apply looping. Okay, when we apply looping, the name must be general. Okay, you cannot use num1, num2, num3. Okay, so we successfully reduced the line number. But what happened is, after the looping completed, okay, after the looping exit, and then when we want to recall back, then all the value of num that user entered, for example, user enter over here, the first loop, user enter 10. Okay, the second loop, user enter 20. The third loop, user enter 30. So can we recall back all this number, 10, 20, 30, to print it over here? Can we do that, class? Or cannot?
No.
Of course cannot kan, because the number already replaced. So this is only one memory. Okay, normal variable can only store up to one value at a time. Okay, for example, user enter 10. Okay, and then second loop, user enter 20. You see my output over here. Okay, and then third loop, user enter 30. You see, when we print the value and then we try to extract, okay, we want to reuse again 10 and 20, you cannot use it because this value already gone in the memory and it is replaced by the latest value, which is 30. Okay, you cannot obtain this value anymore. 10, 20, you cannot get it. Okay, you get it? So this is the problem with a normal variable. It can only store up to one value only. So when we have this kind of problem and then we want to reuse again all the value within the loop, you cannot use it. So that's why we need to use array. Okay, so this is an example of array without looping. Okay, without looping, we can also use this. So this is similar with this one. Okay, so this one we have 3 separate variable. However, when we use array, we just need to use one variable and then we must declare the size is 3. So this is similar with this one. Okay, num1, num2, num3 without array. So we just declare num3. Okay, so this one without array, without looping and without array. Okay, we scan f num1, num2, num3. So over here we scan f num0, num1, num2. Okay, please look at the index. Okay, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so when we want to do the summation, okay, if without array and without looping, this is how we do it. Okay, num1 plus num2 plus num3. When we apply array, sum equal to num10, num0, num1, and num2. Okay, same name, different index number. Okay, and then when print, same over here, we use printf num0, num1, num2. Okay. Okay, so but if this is how you do it, so no point we use array, kan? Just use this one, kan? No point to use array. Okay, so I'm showing you this so that you can see that the number of index keep on increase. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0, 1, 2. It is increased by 1, kan? So this is this is very useful. So this is the things that we use so that we can create something like this. Okay, we reduce the codes, but at the same time we store all the number value. Okay, you see the value 0, 1, 2 is perfectly matched with our looping. Okay, our looping counter increase by 1, kan? 0, 1, 2. So what we do is we put the counter. So I is the counter, so this one you can change. For example, you want to use counter, no problem, kan? Counter, 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 counter. Okay, so over here also you put counter, so that when your counter increase, the number of index also increase. Do you see this, class? Do you get this, class? Okay, now so that we run the program. Okay, so scanf, the first scanf will store the value in num what? Num? The first loop, num what?
0.
Num 0 lah. Okay, num 0. Okay, so 10 we store in num 0. And then it do the calculation. Sum equal to sum plus num 0. Okay. And then it will update the counter 0 plus 1. So now the value of counter is 1. Okay, goes back up. So now it will enter scanf num1. Num1. Now it will become user enter 20. Okay. So sum plus num1. Okay. And then reach the end of the looping, it will do the counter update, counter plus plus. So now counter become 2. Okay, goes back up, scanf num2. Okay, num2, 30. Okay, so when we finish and then exit the loop, and when we want to recall back the value of 10 and 20 and 30, you can do that this time. Okay, compared to the earlier version without the array, and you cannot print this. Okay, you cannot obtain this value. Okay, now you can 10, 20, 30. Okay, understand? Any question?
No, sir.
If no question, I give you question. So I want you to change this value to 1, 2, 3.
You changed the
1.
1 in printf to I.
Okay, enter number 1, enter number 2, enter number 3. Okay, do it. Do that. Okay, in 5 minutes, I want somebody to show me the answer. Enter number 1, enter number 2, enter number 3. Simple only, 5 minutes only, Okay, finish? You get it, class? Akmal Yazid. Akmal Yazid. Hello. Ni pun tidur juga ni. Alia. Alia dah semalam belum. Semalam Nurul. Alia Nur Adriana.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you share your screen?
Tadi tak sempat nak salin semua soalan tu.
Tak sempat nak salin.
Sekejap sir.
Okay. Okay dah, Alia. Dah ke? Alia dah?
Sekejap sir. Sekejap ni. Sir, nampak ke?
Okay. Cuba maximize code block ke? Maximize besarkan. Tu Alia dekat for tu tak ada semikolon ni Alia eh.
Oh ni.
Hujung. Bukan for. Itu ada. Itu kena ada. For looping.
Oh looping.
Looping tak ada. Jangan tak situ. Salah tu.
Okay.
Okay. Tu tertinggal dia punya variable tu Alia. Sebab tu dia keluar nombor pelik-pelik tu aja.
Oh sekejap.
Variable dia tak ada. Percent D betul lah tu. Percent D okay. Yang printf enter number. Percent D okay. But percent D tu representing apa? Representing what?
Oh. Macam ni Sir.
Apa 6? Apa yang 1, 2, 3, 6 ke apa? 1, 2, 3 tu nombor apa?
Nombor
1, 2, 3 kan? Salah tu. Kalau 6 dia keluar apa? Tak apa. Kita tengok kawan yang lain pula
Okay. Sorry Sir. Thank you.
Okay, let us look at Ami Hamzah. Ami Hamzah. Ami Hamzah. Ami Hamzah. Tak ada. Wan Muhammad Hafiz. Wan Muhammad Hafiz. Hello. Wan Muhammad Hafiz. Pesan Muhammad Ami. Muhammad Ami Syafwan.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, share.
Kejap. Nampak skrin Sir.
Okay. Printf enter number 6 counter. Dapat ke? Tak dapat. We want to print enter number 1. That's all. Enter number 1. Simple je. Try. Tak juga. Tak dapat kan? Okay, tak apa. Terima kasih.
Okay.
Arif Hakimi. Arif Hakimi. Arif Hakimi. Tak ada.
Ada.
Ada. Ada. Okay, share. Okay, Arif Hakimi. Share Arif Hakimi.
Still tak dapat.
Ini dah kenapa? Why everyone put n number? First of all, n if only we want to use scanf kan. Print doesn't have to put n symbol. Kan? Betul tak? Betul Arif? Yang simbol n depan 6 tu, n6 tu. Kenapa nak kena ada n? Kan print je. Print doesn't have to put n. Kan? Contoh 6 kan. If you want to print 6, just put 6 kan. Doesn't have to put n 6. But in this case, are you going to print 6? If you want to print 6, you see the line number 14 tu, Arif. That's how you print 6. Okay, when it is involving array, you must be specific what element that you want to print. Num 0, num 1, num 2, not just num. Faham Arif? So tak boleh print num je tu. Salah lagi kan? Okay, thank you. Adam Hakimi. Adam Hakimi.
Sorry, saya on guna phone sir.
Laptop mana laptop?
Laptop, wifi problem sir. Tak boleh buka Meet kat laptop. Saya guna data phone sekarang.
Okay. Ni next time siapa yang guna phone, guna replate tak kisahlah buat macam mana pun. Janji type next class if you are using phone, you must open replate and type your codes using replate. Aina Safia.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Check.
Okay, sekejap Nampak ke sir?
Okay. Okay. Can you zoom a little bit? Zoom. Okay. More. Lagi sikit. Lagi. Okay. Okay, this one almost. Okay, can you try run, Safia?
Okay, sekejap
Okay. Almost that's why I said almost kan. It's okay kan, keluar at least it appear enter number 0, enter number 1, enter number 2. But the one that I asked is enter number 1, right? That's why I said almost.
Okay.
Safia, how do you enter instead of 0, we want 1 to appear. Sikit lagi ni. Apa?
Kalau letak tambah 1?
Counter plus 1 lah. So that you will get 1 kan, 0 plus 1.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
faham.
Okay, simple class but this is very important because array is playing around with counters so many. That's why I said normally if the program involving array, there will be for looping along with it. So when it is involving for, there will be a counter along with it. So you must really understand these three, counter, for loop, and array, because it comes together.
Okay, sir.
Okay, last for today, we haven't discussed the complex part yet. This is as a simple implementation of array. Okay, let's say if you have 1,000 then, so you cannot put printf like this, right? So no point we use array kan, num1, num2, num3 until num 1,000. So we need to simplify this. So how can we simplify this, class? How we can simplify the printing, the output process? Anybody?
%d num3.
%d num3. No, you have to print all the elements. The question required you to print, to have the output similar like this statement, but to simplify it. So the output should be the same. Okay, the output should be the same. This is number then, so it's not very obvious then. Let's say if you have 10,000, you need to type down num0, num1, num2, num3 to get this actual output, something like this. If you just print num3 no value. num3 no value. The value is up until elements num2, num3 no, doesn't exist. So any idea, class, how to simplify this?
Sir, kalau letak printf
Yes.
dalam loop, boleh.
If you put printf, you will not get this. Try. If you put printf within this loop, yeah, that's what you mean,
Pecahkan jadi dua printf. Satu untuk itulah satu-satu macam Sir kata tadi, satu lagi untuk sum.
Macam mana? Maksudnya ni letak dalam ni ke? Dalam loop yang sama? To put it inside the same loop? No, you cannot put it in the same loop. Okay, example. Let me show you why you cannot, The flow is going to be different. Okay, for example, if you put it over here, printf sum, for example, sum of num, and then we put counter over here, right? That's what you mean, Is it? Some we put it somewhere else, right? Outside, right?
Ya, apa ni, sum pecahkan jadi dua lah, dia punya output satu lagi kat bawah.
Okay, some output is outside. Okay. So let's have a look at this first. And see the flow is different. The flow is not like the original flow. Okay, we want enter first and then we get the output. Not like this, enter output, no. So you cannot do like this. But almost there. Almost there. So jawapan tu almost correct. The answer is almost correct. So what you can do, class? Any idea? Any idea? No idea? You must apply another for loop for the output only. Okay, since the flow doesn't allow you to combine like what I showed earlier, okay, input and output together. So you must separate input one looping, okay, and then output should have one loop, okay, separately. You understand, class? Okay, try to do the loop for output, class. Okay, in 5 minutes. Okay, apply the looping for the output. Okay, let's make this your assignment, Boleh? So I want you to think of it, how you want to make this, to simplify this by including this in a specific looping, so how you want to do it? So that is going to be your task. So submit it in the lecture link. Okay, lecture week 9 link. I will create the link later on. Boleh kelas, Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Alright. Okay. Good. So that's all for today. So before you exit, please fill in this attendance first. Okay. Okay, refer to the chart ni. Okay, if done, then that's all for today. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, sir.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.